already are mining asteroids, bro. Like, this is where we get all these goddamn billionaires from. Like, where do you think they get all these resources from, bro? You know, let's be honest about it. Of course, they won't tell us, but that's what's been going on. Salute to you, buddy. Positivity's coming your way.
I got a question. Oh, can I ask a question real quick? I wonder, do you think them exploring other planets, do you think the elite are going to live there, or you think they're going to start a colony and put the prison there, like, you know, our undesirables?
Nah, they start a colony, and I don't know about like any like. I mean, it could be. You know, it's not. I mean, we've been doing it for hundreds of years. Like a penal colony. But I think we colonize it for humanity. I don't think we're colonizing for.
Who do you think they will?
Yeah.
You think they will send the elite, like super intelligent? Yeah. See, why not? Let's see if we can start a utopia, start a new place. We colonize it. The best of the best, the brightest, and then they leave the rest of us bottom feeders here.
It's possible, but it's too much antiquity. It's too much antiquity and wealth here on America. I mean, on Earth. I don't think they'll just leave Earth to just the lowest of the low either. I mean, it's still a beautiful planet too. So, yeah. What up? Go ahead,
buddy. You're ready to talk about the Artemis II supposed launch?
Hey, the customer. Not you. I would think you think it was real. You at least believe the planet is around and, you know, it's not flat. You're too intelligent to think it's fake. Don't do it, Zach. Don't do it.
Go ahead, Zach.
I'm not following what she's saying.
You're saying it's fake,
just
right?
Correct a few things. My channel's joining your stream. CT falsely said I have a philosophy degree today. It's weird because he asked me to do his taxes for him last week, so he knows I have an accounting degree.
You have an accounting? I had no idea you had an accounting degree. I had no idea.
Is somebody else sending your emails? And one of the 20 emails you sent me in the last few days, one asked me to do your taxes. So I thought that was a shot at me being an accountant. But anyway.
Well, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then, you know, you stumbled over some very simple things as you played my video. I appreciate you playing my video.
No problem.
You mentioned the Jesuits don't exist. You said they're like ghosts. That was a quote earlier in the stream. You brought up the Big Bang Theory later. Did you know that the Big Bang Theory was written by a Jesuit priest?
The Catholic Church, yes.
It was written by a Jesuit priest.
Okay,
I think it was one of your panelists came on and said it wouldn't make any sense for the Jesuits to support the heliocentric model. Of course it would. The Jesuits aren't exactly in tune with the rest of the Catholic doctrine. They're the military order of the Pope, but they're very scientific. Look who's contributed the most to the world of astronomy. It's the Jesuits. A lot of things that we know about the planets and, you know, their orbits and all these mathematics, they're credited to Jesuit priests. The Jesuits are very scientific. And again, in their century, the 16th century, the heliocentric model was agreed to. And what's their logo? It's the sun. Wouldn't it make sense to say that the sun is the center of it all? Now, this CTE character who couldn't handle such simple things has just vanished. Again, you guys, just take a good look here at the Artemis II launch. This simple ABC is 1, 2, 3 code. This comes from Kabbalah. And if you just follow it every single day, you can see through every single headline. That's not an exaggeration. It's a fact. I've been proving it for going on 13 years straight. And all roads do lead to Rome, and the Jesuits are in control of your world. They're the reason you're on this calendar that says today is April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2026. Notice the Artemis II launch is taking place 140 days after the leader of the Jesuits' birthday. Again, the Jesuits' fingerprints are all over the entire space program, but Artemis II equates to 140 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. When you run it forwards, it equals 103 like Jesuits, and today is 103 days after the anniversary of the last space mission ending, which, by the way, was in 1972, and that anniversary, it'll be the 54th anniversary this year. Jesuit order equates to 54 and 72 as well. And their headquarters is the Church of the Jesuit, Building 54. So this is a really simple introduction, but of course there's more to it. I just want you to see how perfectly coordinated it is with the Superior General, just like pretty much everything else you read about in the news every single day. And again, just about it being April Fool's and the day of the full moon, Here, these are the 4 base ciphers of the English language. The alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. You can see how April Fools and conspiracy are an exact match in every single cipher. And if you can see outer space down at the bottom, you can see it's the exact same in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. You can see that today's date numerology is 15 and 51. Those are the paths, which break down to 6. By the way, for all you MLB fans, we call Atlanta the 15 city. We had the A's to finish that series versus Atlanta 1-5 for the year. Notice they got beat 1-5 today, falling to 1-5. These things aren't an accident. The whole thing's a big script. But notice, moon, 51 and 15. So we have our first moon mission on this perfect day on April Fool's Day. You can see that April Fools equals 57 as well, just like conspiracy, just like moon, just like Mars. With regards to Mars, Mars is the next frontier. And right now we are in the astrological period that is has the ruling planet of Mars as we do this moon launch with all this talk of going to Mars next. And again, you can also see that outer space is 57. Once again, we have 4 people supposedly traveling around the moon. Today's the launch. It's going to return on the 10th. It's the first day of the 4th month with 4 astronauts. The 4th sign is Cancer in astrology, which is what the moon is ruled by. And that's why the moon landing, the supposed moon landing, was in the time of Cancer in 69. If anybody knows Cancer's astrological symbol, it looks just like 69. But here's part of what they're doing with this returning on the 10th. This moon mission is supposed to end on the 10th. It takes off today. It's supposed to return on the 10th. In mathematics, 10 is the 4th triangular number. That means if you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, it equates to 10. This is the 10th manned moon mission today, the 10th. So the 10th manned moon mission is going to return to Earth on the 10th with 4 people. And just for the record, the word Artemis alone, this is part 2, but just Artemis alone is 104. The majority of the world writes the return date 10/4, like 10/4 over and out. And here, just to remind you also that NASA operates this way day after day. We just had this last month. I came on here and showed CT this. He was all blown away. When he came on, he goes, I bet you think this Meteor thing is by the numbers. If you guys remember this from March 17th, the 76th day of the year, Meteor equals 76. We get a meteor story on the 76th day of the year. March 17th is the day leaving 289 days left in the year. That has a square root of 17. And Ohio, where the meteor supposedly hit, is the 17th state. And it hit on the 17th day of the state's age, which is March 1st. The Masonic headquarters. CT did play my clip earlier where I mentioned that there's a shrine at the House of the Temple in DC, which is true. You guys can look up the online tour of the House of the Temple. You can watch it on YouTube. It's about a 25-minute video going through the whole House of the Temple. They show you the shrine inside the building, and the guy who's the host, who's making the video, which is probably about 20 years old now, he points out, because it's somebody taking the tour, he points out, he says nearly every single astronaut to have traveled to space has been a Freemason. And, CT heard me clearly say that in a video, and then he always being the fraud that he is, he came back and said, what, every astronaut's been a Freemason? And it's not what I said. I said nearly, just like how he says in the video. Nearly every astronaut to have traveled to space has been a Freemason. But yeah, if you don't know, the headquarters for the House of the Temple, the address is 1733. Mason is 17. Masonry is 33. That meteor was exactly 33 weeks into NASA's age, and they came out and told you that the meteor weighed how much? They said it weighed 17,000 pounds on the 17th of the month. In the 17th state again. I mean, this is a joke, but this is what NASA does every single day.
I got a question, Zach.
Huh?
I got a question, Zach. Do you think that they leave these clues for us to figure it out? That, they low-key trying to troll us, like they play in our face?
Well, I don't think that's why they do it. They do it because of Kabbalah. Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah, and the belief in Kabbalah is that God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. It's expressed in the first
So they got to follow it.
Huh?
They have to follow it. Is that why they...
I think they're playing God over humanity with this knowledge. Is what I think they're doing.
Okay.
Real quick, Zach, are Chinese astronauts, are they a part of the Illuminati? I mean, are they Masons as well?
Well, the Jesuits have been in China since longer than the U.S. has existed. They're under the same playbook. Francis Xavier went there in the 16th century. Freemasonry's in China as well. So I don't know why they'd be doing anything any different.
Okay.
It's a new world order. Well, why do you think? And also, I mean, you and Gimpy earlier saying that it was a stretch. The whole thing with the Michael Jackson movie coming out, The Moonwalker. I mean, how can you possibly think it's a stretch? Michael Jackson born in 58, just like NASA. You know what other word equals 58? NAZI. And of course, almost all the scientists in the original NASA team came over in a paperclip there from Germany. So why would you think these things are a coincidence? I mean,
real quick,
Michael Jackson, the Moonwalker. Yeah, I mean, literally, there was a video game called Moonwalker.
Yeah, I remember 1990. I want to answer that real quick, but Cuts did send over some money for me to play this song. Hang tight. Here we go.
Jesuits. It ain't out of space. Jesuits shooting Gematria at asteroids. Yeah, nigga. Jesuits controlling asteroids in outer space. Bet on Gematria on a losing horse race. Jesuit said today is the 76th day of the year. So my Jesuit going out of space and grab that meteor by the ear. Jesuit's making 17,000 tons of meteors in outer space. Jesuit's doing Gematria rituals to a Gematria dick hole case. Jesuits are in outer fucking space. Jesuit's doing Gematria is outer space. Jesuit do that Gematria and get that meteor. Gematria, 76 rituals for Zachary Hubbard to make a video for YouTube. Gematria used to shoot meteors from outer space on Cannonball Day. You never heard of it? You must not be fucking gay. Jesuits in outer fucking space, nigga. Jesuits did Gematria in outer space on St. Patrick's Day. Zach doing it decoded. Sounded fucking gay. He said Jesuits in space shooting Ohio with an asteroid. Zach, you sit in a chair a lot. Do you have a hemorrhoid? What kind of rocket was used to get the Jesuit in orbit? I was in Gematria ritual in the New World Order market. Why Zach with the Jesuits shoot meteors at Ohio? Jesuits doing Gematria is out of space. Jesuit do that Gematria and get that meteor. Gematria, 76 rituals for Zachary Hubbard to make a video for YouTube. Gematria used to shoot meteors from outer space on Cannonball Day. You never heard of it? You must not be fucking gay. Jesuits in outer fucking space, nigga. Space. Jesuits doing Gematria is out of space. Jesuit do that Gematria and get that meteor. Gematria, 76 rituals for Zachary Hubbard to make a video for YouTube. Gematria used to shoot meteors from outer space on Cannonball Day. You never heard of it? You must not be fucking gay. Jesuits in outer fucking space, nigga.
All right, Zach. So you say that the Jesuits have been in China or what is now known as China. It wasn't always China.
No, just do a little research. They've been in China since the 16th century.
Well, I mean, China didn't exist in the 16th century. It was different kingdoms, right? It was different, like city states, right? Or I mean, I don't know.
Well, what we recognize as China, the Jesuits have been since the 16th century.
Okay, go ahead, buddy. I'm listening to you, man. Go ahead. Is there something?
The Catholic Church is about world domination.
Okay.
But what aren't you getting about? I don't understand. When you play my clip of me going, they're sending 4 astronauts on the first day of the 4th month. And again, the moon is ruled by Cancer, the 4th sign. And you go, what? I feel your response to that was, I feel like he's just putting words together to put words together. How is that your response? I mean, that's goofy.
Because I'm trying to figure out, like, what does Michael Jackson have to do with the Artemis II launch? I'm just trying to figure that out. That's all. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what does Michael Jackson have to do with that?
How many Hollywood movies about Michael Jackson have been made in your lifetime?
Okay, so the one in 89 or 90, The American Dream. Then you have the one with Flex Alexander. That's 2. And I think this is the 3rd one, right? This has to be the 3rd one, right? So the one with Flex Alexander. No, it was 4 of them. I can't think of the other one, but it was 4. It was 4, right?
I don't remember any movies about Michael Jackson. I remember the documentaries, but they weren't really, I don't remember any theatrical wide release about Michael Jackson's life where people are playing the character Michael Jackson. I don't remember anything like that in our lifetime.
Like a theatrical release? No. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
So
because American Dream was like
the first one ever in the same month that we're going to the moon in forever. Moonwalk. If we were playing Family Food and I said Moonwalk, who would be the first names to come up on the board?
Michael Jackson.
Well, probably Neil Armstrong and then Michael Jackson, or maybe Michael Jackson first.
Yeah, Michael Jackson first. Yeah.
Okay. And then your co-host on here was like, Michael Jackson, what a stretch. I mean, no. I mean, that's why your people get kicked out of 100 countries because they're just so dishonest and deceptive. What didn't you get about what I showed? Again, from his birthday to the moon landing was 325 days. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry equals 325. The history is they took the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry flag to the moon. Both guys, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are Masons. By the way, I'm sure you've seen the clip of Buzz talking to the little girl saying we never went to the moon. What do you make of that clip?
Hey, why don't you share the clip real quick? Let me see real quick. Share it real quick.
I can look it up. I mean, the clip's out there. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. You must have seen it, right?
I think I have seen it. Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen it. So did you take that as he's an old man and maybe he lost his mind or what?
Hold on, let me see real quick. Give me 1 second, bud. Okay.
I know he's talking to a little girl. By the way, also, I just want to make a point, too. For anyone who doesn't understand why they would deceive us with NASA, their budget's about $70 million a day right now.
Yep, per day, yeah.
We talked that's about every 2 weeks, they get $1 billion from the taxpayers. So, your thing about toasters, I think all of us have probably used a toaster in our lifetime and got some application from that. What has NASA really done for any of our lives? The fact that we've been playing, I mean, how much we pay NASA really hasn't changed over the years, except for inflation, but it's just astronomical amount of money for going on what? Since 58, so going on 70 years paying this astronomical amount of money. What have any of us got on the return from NASA?
You could argue you could argue GPS and navigation. You could argue.
Does that make our life better? Because I remember before we had GPS in our car, I knew I didn't need to look at I feel like it's made us dumber. I used to know how to get around town. I knew all the streets. Now I feel like, man, I'm so used to GPS. If I don't have it, oh my God, I don't even know how to get anywhere. I'm just so used to.
What about memory foam?
Memory foam, like on a mattress.
Yeah, like on your beds in the hospitals. Yeah, memory foam. Yeah, that comes from NASA.
It's probably toxic, honestly.
Oh my God! All right,
probably is. Is memory foam that important? I mean, there weren't comfy beds and sofas before memory foam. I mean,
yeah, there were. Yeah.
Again,
what about inspiring kids?
$70 million a day. What can you do? Can you imagine if these poor communities that never had any intervention? Can you imagine if the feds came in and spent $70 million?
Hold on. What about Velcro? What about Velcro?
For people who can't tie their shoes?
Oh my God.
Velcro. I mean, are we serious? This justifies $70 million a day? Velcro.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying
how often
there's
do
a
you
lot.
Use Velcro right now in your life?
I don't use it at all.
Exactly. $70 million a day. Like I said, there's so many communities we know about. There's been zero intervention in by our federal government that's spending $70 million a day on space. Imagine going into some of these communities in a $70 million project. You don't think we could clean up some communities and create some opportunity and solve some problems in the snap of fingers? $70 million a day?
Yeah. Here we go.
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something.
I think she asked him about Mars. That's what it was.
We need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
Yeah, I think she asked him about Mars. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Is that right? I thought it was about the moon.
I mean, it's been edited out, but I'm thinking she was asking about Mars. Like, why didn't we go to Mars? But anyway, go ahead.
We don't have to do the screen share anymore because I know this stuff goes over your audience's head. But the thing is, NASA really does seem like a major scam, and we give a lot of money to it. And again, people should ask the question: is there a better use of taxpayer dollars for 70 million per day than what did you just give me? Memory foam, Velcro. What else did you say they've come up with?
Memory foam, Velcro. You can argue that a lot of yeah, it's like medical devices like infrared thermometers. You could argue like a lot of our technology we have right now that's miniaturized is because of the space program. Like I think microwaves or something, right? Even though I don't use microwaves.
Sure. I'm sure they could have done that without the space program.
Okay.
If there's a need to make things smaller and smaller, you don't need to go to space to do it. I remember when I was a child in school, they were telling us that really important cancer research was going to come out of the space program. And I look at that now and I'm like, this seems like mockery. Just for the record, cancer has the same gematria as space, which is 44, just like Armstrong equals 44, like 4 astronauts on the first day of the 4th month, like the moon ruled by Cancer, which is the great accomplishment that justifies this massive budget, supposed great accomplishment of going to the moon. But let's be honest, CT, out of memory foam and Velcro, since we're just calling people toasters who question this, how many times have you used a toaster in your lifetime?
Thousands.
Probably got more use out of a toaster than anything that came out of NASA.
Yeah.
Now, if you were in charge of the budget, I'm sure when you go through Cleveland, you see all kinds of neighborhoods you wish were cleaned up or something would happen there to make life better. Would you justify, like, you know what? I'm not going to help out my community today. I'm not going to help out this community. I'm going to send 70 million because maybe they'll come up with something as great as Velcro in the next 50 years.
I mean, is it possible that space exploration is far greater than some community on Earth? They can't get there. I mean, you know, NASA's federally funded, right? A lot of these communities that we see that are dilapidated are state funded, right? Or well, why not just go through the state to get your money? What do federal dollars have to do with state dollars?
Well, I mean, a lot of things that the state funds, so do the feds, like our schools. But
sure. I mean, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, the feds are funding the highways and the interstates through every state. So, I mean, there's a lot of overlap.
Okay. So here we go. So is all this fake or is this a waste of money? I mean, what is this to you, buddy?
Now, let me ask you something. Did you ever watch the very first 4K video when it was brand new, when 4K was a new thing? Did you ever see that video?
No.
It said it was made by, if you go back and look up what the first 4K video ever is, it gives the credits at the beginning, and it says this video was made by Hollywood and NASA. They both participated. And we know if you watch a space movie, a Hollywood space movie, I mean, are they filming in space?
No.
But it looks legit.
Like, you know, I will admit, what's the movie from the 60s? Space Odyssey. Yes, that looks really good. It looks legit, yeah.
And that's the rumor, right? The same guy who made that movie is responsible for filming the moon landing. It's a rumor.
Really?
I don't know that it's true. Stanley Kubrick?
Let me see. Hold on for a second. All right, let's see. All right. Oh yeah, so there are some videos out. All right, hold on. Let me play this video real quick. I had no fucking idea. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
gather around the nearest television they can find to witness what may be the greatest accomplishment in the history of mankind. Eyes are glued to the screen, taking in every moment. The wonder, the amazement, the sheer impossibility of it all. A literal, out-of-this-world experience. And somehow, every Earthling with a television had a front row seat. Thanks to the brave men and women whose hard work and determination made this possible. Thanks to the technology that carried them there. So yeah, thank you, rockets. And thank you, cameras. You know, for letting everybody see it. The whole thing just feels so cinematic. Like you're watching a Stanley Kubrick movie. After all, Kubrick had already given audiences some incredibly convincing space imagery in his film, 2001: A Space Odyssey. He even had connections to NASA, who later allowed him to use one of their specialized lenses while filming Barry Lyndon. And then there are the supposed clues that people claim he left behind in The Shining. Not to mention the dark and dirty message of power and secrets in Eyes Wide Shut. And if we're already going down this rabbit hole, I just want to say it. Stanley Kubrick died 666 days before January 1st, 2001. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it must mean something. Or maybe, just maybe, Stanley Kubrick's work is so unbelievably brilliant that the only way our puny little monkey minds can process it is by turning it into mythology. Talent so extraordinary that it generates conspiracy theories. In a world that often feels corrupt and dishonest, it becomes easier and easier to believe almost anything. This is how many have come to the conclusion that master filmmaker Stanley Kubrick helped fake the moon landing. So yeah, okay, let's go over the basics really quick. The theory claims that the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969 was faked and secretly filmed with the help of director Stanley Kubrick. But why Kubrick? Well, because he had just released 2001: A Space Odyssey, a film that features incredibly realistic depictions of space, only 1 year before the Apollo 11 mission. The timing, it lines up, and the visuals, they still hold up. Those scenes from 2001 still look better than all those silly moon movies that they're giving us today. According to the conspiracy, NASA supposedly recruited Kubrick because he had already proven he could create revolutionary space imagery while also striving for scientific realism. He had the talent, the obsessive attention to detail, and access to the most advanced filmmaking technology of the time. In other words, if you're going to fake the moon landing, Stanley might be the perfect guy for the gig. Almost too perfect.
Let me see. Read him the list I just sent you on X, CT. That is the list you want. All right, will do.
After failing to get his epic Napoleon biopic off the ground, Kubrick shifted his focus to another historical epic, Barry Lyndon. It hit theaters in 1975.
Real quick. So, Zach, MRI and CT scan improvements, heart pumps, infrared ear thermometers, advanced wound dressings. Let's see. Water purification systems. Okay. I already said memory foam, Velcro. I already said that. Cordless tools, insulated blankets, freeze dried food, satellite TV, radio, GPS, weather forecasting satellites. Go ahead, Zach.
Outside of satellites, all of those things could have been developed without the space program, to be fair. It's not to say that, all technology can bring innovation, so you can make that argument, but still, does it justify the $70 million a day budget? I would say far from it. CT, just to share the screen real quick about how they brought up how Kubrick died 666 days before 2001. In the base ciphers, what NASA stands for, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, does equal 666. And you pair that with their symbol. Doesn't it seem that their symbol is the serpent's tongue?
It does look that way. I will admit that.
Because, I mean, what else is this? I mean, looks like a serpent's tongue. And obviously 666 is associated with Satan, like the serpent, which is the father of lies. A lot of things that are true about this world are just hidden in plain sight. If NASA's just been lying to you nonstop to justify essentially theft of your wages, which is what I think taxation mostly is, and again, government needs to create stories to justify in your minds why they're taking all this money from you. CT, what percentage of your wealth did you lose to the government last year?
I don't know. What about you?
A good chunk, just like I do year after year. Yeah.
Well, you mean when they take taxes? Yeah, I mean, talking about 30% probably. Damn near 30%. Yeah.
I mean, all the debt I have on mortgages, I could have easily paid down and have a huge profit from the last 5 years of what I've had to pay in taxes. I mean, a lot of my wealth is supposedly going to things like this, NASA. And I think I'm being bullshitted. I mean, this war in Iran doesn't look too legitimate. I have somebody in my community who's over in Iran, and they're saying, it's not as scary as they're making it seem in the news. Yeah. We live in 1984. So
I think so.
I do think so. Absolutely. So, I mean, the list he just gave you, don't you think a lot of that technology could have been developed without the space program?
It's possible.
By the way, I was listening. I was in the gym and I was listening to your show, and I was watching the news lady say that they're now talking about space possibly becoming a frontier for warfare. CT, we grew up at almost. I graduated in 2001. What year did you graduate from high school?
03.
You're 2 years behind me. Yeah. But about the same time. Weren't you learning in high school about how the future of space could be the next battlefront warfare? They were teaching us in high school in the 90s.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. We were.
And now listening to stuff in 2026 where the news anchor's like, wow, they're saying this could be. That's why it just gets annoying. And I'm sure it's always been this way for people who are older and they look back and like, what are they even talking about today? This has been a conversation for 30 years plus. So
a little bit longer than that too. All right, here we go.
No love.
Just a few.
Say what?
You didn't want to read her super chat?
That was your super chat. That's not mine. That's yours.
So you can't read it? Don't you get it?
You want me to read your people? No, that comes to you. But I can see it on my screen. It says Happy New Year, Truth Family. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, that's not for me. But
thank you, Leslie.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. CD, I think you should confirm if Buzz was saying that about Mars or the moon. I'm pretty sure he was talking about the moon mission.
I don't know. I mean, I've only seen that edited clip, and it starts right there. I'm assuming the girl asked Buzz about Mars. That's why he said what he said. Plus, he's wearing a Mars shirt, so I can only surmise that's what happened. I haven't seen the whole clip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Landing, just saying. And like most Kubrick films, it was praised for its extraordinary cinematography. I mean, just look at that beautiful lighting. How did he do it? But yeah, this time, Kubrick had a new cinematic weapon in his arsenal.
Space 44 super agents. The next thing you can't live without. No setup. Just
a lens. Not just any camera lens. A special, ultra-fast lens, originally designed by NASA for low-light photography. These lenses were designed for photographing the far side of the moon during the Apollo missions. For some reason, NASA allowed Stanley Kubrick to use this lens to film Barry Lyndon, particularly for the famous scenes lit entirely by candle light. No studio lights, no tricks, just candle flames illuminating the frame. The result? Well, some of the most beautiful images ever captured on film, all made possible by technology that came from NASA. But yeah, the reason these theories seem to stick around is because, on the surface, it doesn't seem completely impossible. Hollywood, the space program, the military, and the government have all worked together, sometimes openly and sometimes in secret, for a variety of reasons. Education, experimentation, propaganda, and even wartime projects. History has shown us that governments and powerful institutions are certainly capable of secretive and sometimes sinister actions. But the real...
Hey, Cuts, you gotta fix your mic, bro.
Hey, what's up, CT?
What's going on?
Not much, just
Go ahead,
chilling.
man.
What's up with this? Who the fuck is Leper Messiah of fake ass Gematria? Where are these bitch ass fucking scum? Where's this fucking rat fucking? Where's these rat motherfuckers from Zachary K. Hubbard? Who is this snitch ass bitch? This motherfucker claims he's a Gematria teacher, really? Fuck out of here.
All right, here we go. Let's
question is, would Stanley Kubrick have participated in something like this? For me, the strongest evidence that this entire story is nonsense
I'm gonna be back
comes
in
from
5
someone
minutes.
who knew...
I'll be back in
What?
5 minutes.
okay, sounds good. Yep.
Kubrick better than anybody. His daughter, Vivian Kubrick. She worked closely alongside her father on numerous projects and was incredibly close to him. Vivian understood his character, his values,
Hey,
his
where's that
beliefs,
stupid
and the
snitch ass
things he...
bitch? Why don't that fucking
Oh.
snitch ass bitch pull up in the chair?
Who you talking about, Cuts?
Where are these
You talking about
snitch ass
guts?
fucking scum?
What did they? I mean, what did they do? Nothing much, man. Go ahead.
No,
How
they're
you
just
doing?
saying garbage.
Yeah.
They're just little rat motherfuckers. The fuck? It's unbelievable. Go ahead. Proceed with your stream, CT. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you good. You good. Yeah. Don't
Fuck
worry
out
about
of
it, buddy.
here. Leper Messiah. It's Leper Messiah. You're a Messiah of fucking
If you're
fake
watching
ass
on an
Gematria.
internet-enabled
You're a
device,
bitch,
just
motherfucker.
remember
Fuck
that
you. Go
there
suck
may
a
be a
bag
little
of
bit of a
dick.
delay. Can't tell you how much of
Joe.
a delay, but since it's on an internet device, sometimes
No,
this
you're not
this
spitting
broadcast might be a
back.
little behind
You're a
what you're
snitch
actually
ass fucking
seeing. So
show
just
ass
keep that in mind
bitch.
as you
You're some
are
fucking
watching.
clown
Don't
piece of
wait till
shit.
the last second
You're a
to
fucking
run outside
coward.
if you're inside your RV or your camper or your house. That's the latest here from the firing room. Of course, we'll keep track of that last battery issue. We'll send it back now to Megan
Unbelievable. Where's the
and Nicole
fucking
at the help
quack?
desk.
He said he'd be back in a couple of
Yeah,
minutes.
ran
There
out.
had to
Ran
be
out.
tethered
Ran up out of
to
here.
the inside of the white room because obviously now we have
I'm busy
detached the
babysitting.
white
I don't
room
want to teach
from the Orion
Gematria.
spacecraft.
Yes, that view is quite something.
Yeah, spectacular. Yep.
Gematria.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I forgot. Nicole's scared of heights.
No, I think you guys are a bunch
An
of
astronaut afraid of
conspiracy
heights is
theorists.
actually not
Fucking
uncommon, as
retards.
we've learned today.
I think your
But
fucking
yes, so
conspiracy
obviously again
theories are
things
fucking retarded.
proceeding
Like fuck you,
as we
fuck out
inch
of here.
closer to the
All
opening
of
of
you
our
fucking scum.
2-hour launch window at 6:24 p.m. Eastern time. Again, the closeout crew just finishing up those last couple of things they have to do before leaving the white room and then leaving the pad, leaving only the 4 Artemis II crew members inside the spacecraft by themselves at the pad.
Yeah, and then we'll be curious to follow the battery issue on the last as well. I think sometimes it's just a sensor issue, sometimes it's a battery issue. So hopefully they figure that out quickly.
Mm-hmm. And so if we can take a shot of the crew inside the capsule, if one's available, why don't we
I do like
talk
this
a little bit
science
more
space.
about each of them?
Yeah.
So we have Artemis II
intrigue.
Commander Reed Wiseman, Baltimore
All
native,
right.
and he's actually, you see his feet in that shot there from inside Orion. He's been in space once before as flight engineer for Expedition 41 aboard the International Space Station from May through November 2014. During the 165-day mission, Reed and his crewmates completed more than 300 science experiments in areas like human physiology, medicine, physical science, earth science, as well as astrophysics. He actually set a milestone for station science by completing a record 82 research hours in a single week. He also served as chief of NASA's astronaut office from December 2020 to December 2022. His two daughters were out to wave goodbye to him as he made his way to the launch pad. And again, there's Reed's feet. Reed is the one sitting in the seat to the right, closest to our camera there. So looks like he's relaxed by the body language of his feet.
Yeah, I think they're kind of in a holding pattern, if you will, or a waiting period. So it makes sense that he's a little bit relaxed. He's also kind of just a relaxed person in general. He's wicked smart, but has a demeanor that keeps everybody calm. And so I think we're seeing that here today.
And so in this shot, Reed is the one sitting on the left, and to his right, Artemis II pilot Victor Glover. NASA selected the California native as an astronaut in 2013, and at the time he was actually serving as a legislative fellow in the United States Senate. His first trip to space, November 2020, pilot of NASA's SpaceX Crew 1 mission. That was the first operational mission of NASA's Commercial Crew program, which resumed launching American rockets from American soil to the International Space Station since the end of the shuttle program. Victor is a U.S. Navy captain and naval aviator who served as a test pilot, racking up more than 3,500 flight hours in more than 40 different aircraft. So again, he probably feels pretty at home in the pilot seat of Artemis II.
Yeah, I think he does.
He got to say goodbye to his wife and 4 kids. Again, those were the family that he had here at Kennedy Space Center before the 4 of them drove out to the pad.
Yeah, and you can see there, we talked about Victor's energy earlier, and you can see him working through, pushing some buttons on the displays. Looked like he was pulling up a procedure, so he's following along and ready to go, looks like.
And then mission specialist Christina Cook, sitting on the upper left-hand corner of the screen there, native of Grand Rapids, Michigan, was selected to the astronaut corps in 2013, same class as Victor, served as flight engineer on the International Space Station from March 2019 to February 2020. During that time, she set a record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman with a total of 328 consecutive days in space. How cool. She also participated in the first ever all-female spacewalk. And before becoming an astronaut, Christina helped to build space science instruments and led scientific fieldwork in some of the most remote environments on the planet. Her hobbies include surfing, rock climbing,
And
community
CDR,
service, yoga, and photography.
Go ahead, NCD. A couple of suppressed overvolt messages. We're going to go ahead and clear those off your screen.
We see them and we copy.
All right.
NASA test director.
We're still working here, trying to get through everything. So we're getting close, and then trying to talk that other issue that we just picked up a little bit ago. But I think work-wise, we're doing really well.
Sounds good, NCD. We're doing great on board.
Glad to hear it.
NASA test director giving an update to the crew. Some messages flashed on their displays. Just wanted to say that they didn't have to worry about that. We're going to clear that. And that also just reassuring the crew, again, that they are tracking and working the issue with the launch abort system battery.
Yeah.
All right. And then first-time flyer, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen will fly to the moon as mission specialist on the Artemis II mission. The London, Ontario native, selected as an astronaut in 2009. After that, he worked as Capcom at NASA's Mission Control Center in Houston. Capcom stands for Capsule Communicator and is the sole direct voice communicating with astronauts while in space. Jeremy also participated in training exercises, really cool ones like living on the ocean floor off the coast of Florida to simulate deep space exploration for a week. In 2017, he became the first Canadian to lead a NASA astronaut class. He also enjoys getting out on a sailboat, rock climbing, and mountain biking. He has a wife and 3 children. And he's the one that you see bottom left-hand corner of your screen. I know, I'm trying to see what he's doing there. Christina's looking too. And so there is your Artemis II crew inside the Orion spacecraft. And this is actually the 7th time NASA astronauts will launch on a new NASA spacecraft designed for crew. And if you're wondering about the first 6 crewed test flights, here they are. Gemini 3, Gus Grissom, John Young, March 23, 1965. Apollo 7, Wally Schirra, Don Isley, Walt Cunningham, October 11, 1968. Space Transportation System, or STS-1, John Young, Robert Crippen, April 12, 1981. Then NASA SpaceX Demo 2, Doug Hurley, Bob Behnken, May 30th, 2020, followed by NASA's Boeing Crew Flight Test. Butch Wilmore, Sonny Williams, June 5th, 2024. And now, Artemis II with Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy. It is really surprising, honestly, to hear that through all these decades, through all these launches we've had, this is only our 7th new vehicle that we're testing for crew.
Yeah, you know, we have so many different missions that we
Skywalker said, CT, great
about,
show.
but
Space,
really
the final
7
frontier.
vehicles that we've tested and that we're flying. You know, I like to think of spaceflight really as a permanent test, right? We have, you know, hundreds of missions or so. You know, an airplane that gets tested and then flown has thousands of data points. And so really spaceflight is always going to be in the test field. And I think it's important to remember
Cuts,
that,
who is this
especially as
person
we
right here?
put humans on rockets that we never have before.
I don't know. That's some fucking dude that's one of Zachary K. Hubbard's mods. That's some cult member of fake Gematria. That's some person that thinks Gematria is 4 ciphers in English.
Okay.
That's what that is. Look, it's unbelievable. That's the first Gematrian that paid money. Holy shit, look at that.
Seconds and counting.
Holy fuck,
Opening of our window. And Artemis
That's the
2
first
is attending
Gematrian
that will send the
show.
4-person crew on a journey
This
around
shit
the
they
moon.
even give
after Earth.
$5.
It will be a critical step towards future lunar and Mars missions.
That shill paid $5 so he wouldn't have to pull up and debate Gematria. That's why.
The moon.
They paid $5 so they didn't have to debate fake ass Gematria. It's a baby.
This is a test mission, and when we get off the planet, we might come right back home. We might spend 3 or 4 days around Earth. We might go to the moon. That's where we want to go. But
that's some shill that fucking paid $5 so they don't have to debate fake ass
Gematria.
Who the fuck is that, Dak? Who the fuck is Leopard Messiah?
Which is to explore the unknown in air and space.
Fucking still ass bitch. What is that? One of your rabbis? Fuck out of here. That Leopard Messiah rabbi of fucking fake Gematria. Fuck off. Fuck you. You're a fucking dicks. I mean, you're a fucking rat piece of shit. You're a straight the fuck rat piece of shit. Zachary K. Hubbard. I'm a Gematria teacher. I'm really a CNA, but I'm a Gematria teacher now. I say so. Gematria transformed from fucking Hebrew into English, and they're somewhere around the 1600s. Oh, suck a dick. I mean, fuck you. Fucking, yeah, fucking right. I'm not buying that, motherfucker. I don't believe your fake ass Gematria. Prove that Gematria turned from Hebrew into English around the 1600s. Like, fuck out of here.
All right, Zach, can you prove that?
Prove your fake ass 4 ciphers is actually Gematria. You know, Gematria doesn't even work in 4 ciphers. Actual Gematria doesn't have 4 ciphers as a standard methodology. That's a fact. That's a fucking goddamn fucking fact. Gematria is not.
Can we get a screen share real quick?
Dumb fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, look at my 4 ciphers.
Can you see what the last 2 words are in the second paragraph there?
Yeah, where it says English gematria, that's a hyperlink and it goes over to numerology.
Right. Gematria is a form of numerology, essentially
The
numerology
rest
within
of
words.
the definition says gematria is Hebrew for like the entire of the rest of the definition. You dumb fucking shill. You stupid fucking bitch.
Cuts, is there a statue
Lying
outside the
fucking
CIA's
coward.
headquarters paying
That's
tribute to
where
this
it
knowledge?
says gematria English and has a hyperlink. You dumb fuck. And it goes over to numerology.
Okay, and just like we're showing here, it is numerology, just like today's date numerology is 15 and 51, which corresponds with
definition of
moon.
English gematria and numerology, there's not one citation that says gematria is 4 ciphers in English. That's not what it says.
Now, let me ask both of you this question. I had to take multiple statistics classes in college, studying accounting. Could you form a model to show the probability of this lining up with the superior general the way it does?
It lines up with my fake ass gematria, lines up with superior general and Artemis.
Day after day, this is how the news lines up. So can you find a model that would show that this is highly probable or improbable?
Artemis 2 equals 42. Aren't you concerned, CT?
Now, CT, you know what my theory's been the whole time I've been here, that the language and the calendar are a synced system established by the Jesuits in the 16th century, and day after day, the rituals unfold by this simple code. Would you say that today is not proof of that, or how would you see it there, CT, with what I just shared?
About the.
Can we put it back up on the screen and look at it one more time? It's 140 days after the Superior General's birthday, and it's 103 days after the last moon mission in history ended, its anniversary date.
Gematria is not Hebrew. I mean,
the last moon mission ended on December 19th, 72. Today's 103 days after that anniversary. So just the way this lines up here with Artemis II in the history of the program and the leader of the Jesuits.
Artemis II spelled out TWO equals 42. Aren't you concerned, CT? That's like the N word and white boy in Gematria. Oh my God. Artemis 2 equals 42 in fake ass gematria. Artemis, you spell out Artemis and then you put number 2 spelled out as 2. Artemis 2 equals 42. Oh my God.
Well, hey, Zach, cuss real quick. Zach, okay, so what exactly?
That's not legit.
Hold on,
no, that's not
Zach,
legit.
what?
Gematria is not 4 ciphers in English. I'm sorry.
Hold on for a second. Cuts, real quick. Cuts. Give me a second. Zach, what exactly are they doing today? Like, what is this ritual taking place today? Go ahead. Hang tight, Cuts. This ain't tight. For me, Cuts. This ain't tight. Go ahead, Zach.
Oh, it's a justification for the 70 million per day for the space program. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Like you just said, I mean, you asked me the question. You posed the question. Don't you think it's more important for us to figure out how to travel space than all this other stuff? And my answer to that would be no. That'd be my personal answer, but maybe I could be wrong about that. But what if they're not even traveling space? What if all they're doing is making stuff up in a Hollywood basement to justify $70 million of taxation a day on the cattle?
So those people at the site are those actors and actresses like the families that are about to watch this?
Compartmentalization. I have a family member that works for NASA. His name is David, and he's worked for NASA for longer than I've been alive. He's about 20 years older than me. A lot of my cousins are older than me. He's a good friend of my cousin, and it's a weird thing. He's always lived with my cousin. He's like your stereotypical nerd. He's never been with a woman. He happens to be Ooish. He's related to Gimpy, but he's worked for NASA for all of his life.
Dude,
and you know, he just easily he could be one of those people in the room today thinking that the work he's been applying is going into today's moon mission, but that doesn't mean that they're not being deceived in the same way we are.
Isn't Gematria actually Ooish?
It did start out that way, yes.
Started out that way? When did it change? Which Jesuit transformed Gematria?
Well, since you watch all my videos, I mean, what would I say back to you?
Your fake Gematria 4 cipher methodology is fake. There's no standard of Gematria.
Can we share the screen here again real quick?
Gematria is not 4 ciphers, not even in Hebrew.
Hold on.
Gematria is not 4 ciphers, not in Hebrew or English.
Hold on.
That's not legit. No, that's not legit. Fuck that shit.
Can we get the extend the show? Well, here, let me scroll up so you don't have to take that off. Here, let me just put it up further on the screen.
That's some
Can we
fake-ass
see
shit. No,
the way
that's
the
not
conspiracy
proof of
and outer
life.
space overlap here, along with April Fools?
April
And
Fools,
out of all the
Gematria, and
days
Gematria
in
is
nearly
actually
54
Hebrew.
years that we
If
could have
you
gone back on the moon mission,
cross-reference
we
and
had to
double
choose
check,
April Fool's
if
Day.
you fact check this fake Gematria per Hebrew, none of these numbers mean this shit in Hebrew. This is
We're not talking about what's in
Gematria.
Hebrew, are we?
It's not actually
Isn't it weird how we just keep
Gematria. This is some fake ass
CTE? Isn't it get annoying listening to Kesha say the same stupid stuff? We're not talking about what's going on in Hebrew. We're talking about the system implemented into English along with the calendar that's used every single day.
No, you're lying. You're just lying about Gematria. That's what you're doing.
Well, how am I lying?
That's not Gematria. That's not Gematria. There is
It
not.
is.
There
The word
is
means
not.
to encode numbers into words. That's what the word
Hey,
means.
dumb fuck. Hey, you stupid show ass bitch. There is not a standard of Gematria that's 4 ciphers,
back.
not even in Hebrew. You dumb fuck. Fuck out of here. Kick rocks, quacky, you fucking bitch. Sick of these fucking scum lying about
It depends on exactly when they launch, like the time, the day. So we'll learn more as we go into this 10-day mission with the Artemis 2 crew. But here we are, 32
Look at
minutes,
my
50
numbers.
seconds and counting from the opening of our launch window. Feels really, really surreal here as more and more people come to gather on the press site lawn here at Kennedy Space Center. Why don't we take a look at this video?
No,
we
I'm not
some familiar
emotional. I'm
faces
good. I'm
who
just
wanted
big
to wish
chilling.
our
But I
Artemis
would
2
like to
crew
kick
a
in the
safe
back of the fucking quack.
Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, you are the real deal. You're flying to the moon for all of us, and we are in awe. You're the true heroes.
You are not just astronauts. You are pioneers, venturing deeper into the unknown. But you are not alone. We will be all cheering you on from planet Earth.
Hey, I'm Victor Wembanyama, and I play basketball in the NBA. But I'm not only interested in shooting hoops. I'm also interested in shooting stars, dark matter, and all other types of astronomical phenomenon. And to the Artemis II astronauts who are shooting for the moon, I wish them good luck and Godspeed.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ryan Gosling, and I play a biologist who goes to space to save the planet in the film Project Hail Mary. But the Artemis II astronauts are going to space for real, and they will travel farther from Earth than any humans in history. Sending all our best wishes to the Artemis II crew.
I just want to say how proud I am of each of you and how inspired you make me. But it's not just about me. Your mission is going to inspire future generations of scientists, engineers, athletes, and dreamers to do something that they never thought possible.
Hey, it's Roy Wood Jr., and I want to wish the Artemis II crew a happy and safe journey to the moon. Well, around the moon. To go around. I know what you're doing. You got to look for a parking space. This is to go around the moon, make sure somewhere to park, and then you park journey. Good luck.
It's actually a really good way to explain what how this mission builds. Again, we are hoping to land astronauts on the surface of the moon in maybe 2 years. So yes, we are looking around the moon on this lunar flyby mission to see where we might park. Thank you, Roywood Jr. Okay, and as we look at this live view of the rocket on the pad, there is a spectacular place here at Kennedy Space Center to watch launch from, and that's the Banana Creek viewing area. Why don't we go back there where the crowd is excited and Leah has the best assignment ever talking to people who are super excited about being here for Artemis 2.
Oh my gosh, Megan, you talk about the excitement being palpable. I'm telling you, everybody here on pins and needles as we get just about half an hour away from launch. I've been walking around talking to people, and I'm just struck again and again by how many people are here from across the agency. I want to introduce you to just a small portion of the people across NASA who have been supporting this mission.
Patty Ortiz, NASA Armstrong Flight Research Center, Orion Program.
Orion.
Kathy Grace, Glenn Research Center, Office of STEM Engagement.
David Alexander, NASA Glenn Research Center, Office of STEM Engagement.
Glenn is in Cleveland.
Center of the Office of STEM Engagement.
Here we go, right back here. Where are you from?
I'm from NASA Glenn Research Center, Joseph Pinakitis.
Joseph, here we go.
Wes Furman from APL.
Maria Arredondo from Headquarters, Next Gen STEM.
Mark Robinson, Stennis Space Center, Commercial Space.
Amira Flores, Armstrong, Office of the STEM Engagement.
Molly Kearns, NASA Glenn, Space Communications and Navigation.
Matthew Pierce, Goddard Institute for Space Studies in New York City.
Here we go, and right over here.
Lauren Ring, Ames Research Center, Data Integration.
So we're coming together. We're one big NASA team, one big NASA family, and we have one major message before we launch tonight. Okay, guys, what are we going to say? 1, 2, 3. Go Artemis!
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That made me so emotional. That was so inspiring to see. I mean, wow. Yeah, that was great. I mean, just to hear everybody say their position, what they're doing to support this mission is amazing. And I'm sure this was something that really rang true and resonated with NASA's Administrator Jared Isaacman, again, to see the workforce come together to do the work and then to be here for launch. So why don't we actually go over to him now with our Jasmine Hopkins at one of our other viewing locations.
All right, Megan, thank you so much. The energy here on the balcony is honestly becoming electric as we get so close to launch. And now we are thrilled to welcome NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. Jared, we're really entering a golden age of exploration. How will Artemis II set the pace for the coming years?
Well, I mean, Artemis II is the opening act, right? This is the test mission. This is getting very comfortable with the SLS rocket, the Orion spacecraft. No humans have ever flown on this before, right? And we're going to put it through its paces. We'll go into Earth orbit for a little bit, make sure Orion's doing okay. And then we are sending them, right? We're going to send them farther into space than any humans might have gone before, 250,000 miles away. And it's going to set up for the subsequent missions. That's why we're going into the golden age of science and discovery right now, because you're going to see a moon rocket launch in 2027 when we do our testing with the lander. We're going to go for the landing on Artemis 4 in 2028. And in parallel, we're going to build the moon base, right? And that is going to be filled with science discovery and tech demonstrations that's going to support the enduring presence we're trying to create on the surface.
Absolutely. So honestly, history-making years ahead of us, you know, with Artemis 3 and 4. But first is Artemis 2. What will be our single greatest takeaway from this mission?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, after ignition, to me, the moment that I'm going to be most excited for is splashdown. There's no question about that. Good shoots coming down off the West Coast. But look, I think the takeaway from this is gaining extreme comfort in the Orion spacecraft, right? I mean, this is very different than what we've done for more than a half century, right? I mean, the velocities that spacecraft is going to re-enter at, it's going to be new territory for us. We want to get our arms around that completely. So I would say the performance of SLS plus Orion is everything on this one. We want to make sure we do it in as a safe way as we possibly can, understanding what we are undertaking right here, bring our crew back, learn as much we can from the vehicle, set up for Artemis 3 in 2027.
Right. And Administrator, we've actually had a pretty young audience today here, some kids running around the balcony. How do you hope Artemis 2 inspires that next generation?
You know, I talk about this all the time. Like, you know, one of our overarching KPIs that we should always be tracking is the number of people living and working in space. Well, you know, what's another strong number 2 on that one? It's the number of kids that are dressing up as astronauts for Halloween, so that they grow up, that they're inspired to want to join in this grand endeavor, whether they come work with us here at NASA or they join in industry, but they're helping humankind venture out farther, pursue all the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of kids dressed as astronauts.
Can we turn this down for a second? The first pilot episode of The Twilight Zone, I'm just reading my old book. I wrote this thing 10 years ago. I forgot some things. First pilot episode of The Twilight Zone. Do you know when it came out and what it's about?
No, but I'm assuming 1966.
Came out in 1958, shortly after the establishment of NASA. And the first episode, the pilot episode, is about putting a man on the moon.
Okay.
Here's why that's interesting. In Gematria, the Twilight Zone equals 201. The moon landing on the 201st day of the year. Neil Alden Armstrong, 201. You know what day Rod Serling died?
Who was that?
Oh wow, man! I thought you were the TV buff. I thought you would have been up on the Twilight Zone. Ron Serling.
Oh, yeah. The Voice. He died in 1975. Yeah.
He's the Twilight Zone creator.
Yeah.
He died on Elon Musk's birthday as well.
Shit.
Very important day to the NAZI gang. His birthday is Christmas, and we know who that's important to, the church. They made it the day that it is. But yeah, don't you find that, do you believe in this thing of predictive programming where they put stuff out in entertainment and then it becomes history?
I do.
I mean, doesn't that seem quite strange that the first pilot episode would be about that and it was right after NASA was established?
It's very interesting when you sit back and think about it. Yeah.
You know how old Serling was when it came out?
No, how old?
What's that special number to these Masons?
33. Yeah,
that's how old he was. He was 33.
Okay.
You know what network the Twilight Zone was on?
No. What network, buddy?
CBS. And what is?
Oh
their
yeah,
symbol?
yeah.
What's their symbol?
I think a chicken, right?
Isn't it an all-seeing eye? Isn't it an eye?
It's an eye. Yeah, it's an eye. Yep.
And just say the letters out loud. Say it out loud.
CBS. Oh, see bullshit. Okay. All right. There we have it. Yeah.
You don't feel like imagine you're the world elite. You have all this wealth. You're ruling over people. You don't think it would be fun to just kind of mock them and give them the middle finger every day?
Yeah. I can see that.
It seems like that's what they do.
A new generation prepares to return to
Got
the
23
moon
minutes,
this
man.
time.
So what about it, man? Like, I mean, what about it? What about it, buddy? What about it?
I'm just saying. I mean, listen, I was a child once too, and I thought space was awesome. I wanted to be an astronaut. I mean, who didn't? I mean, this is one of the first things we learned about in school. Who wouldn't want to go to space? They put all these great ideas in our head as children. It's kind of funny when you look at the way the school system is. It hasn't changed in decades. The first thing you really learn about school is dinosaurs.
Yep, I agree.
Because, I mean, are dinosaurs really that relevant to our world? They teach us.
They're not.
You learn about how they were destroyed and went extinct. It's like, why did they put this idea in our head from a young age? An extinction level event.
Real quick, CKJ says, I keep one eye open like CBS. Yes, Reasonable Doubt. I think the name of that song is, I can't think of the name of that song for Reasonable Doubt, but Jesus Christ. Guys, get the lights up, guys. Share the video. Guys, if you want to extend the show, get a coffee for the host, guys. Yeah, Can I Live? Right, Can I Live? That's the name of the song. Yeah. All right, here we go. We got 23 minutes until history. Here we go.
I can make it a little bit longer. Did you see it? Okay, so everybody's looking at the rocket because it is kind of cool and impressive. One of the coolest things happening over there right now, though, is it's on top of a giant track.
Doesn't all food come in like tubes? It's in these like little plastic bags. You have to like rehydrate it. There's not sushi in space. It's probably hard to keep that back. Directed sushi mashed together.
My favorite part was this one little girl. She had a question. She patiently held her hand for a long time, and Christina turns to her and says, "Okay, what's your question?" She just goes, "I forgot." It was like, that's a perfect little kid moment. I just
Wait, are you my mother's cats too, astronauts?
What's say that again?
Never mind. It's a little hard to say.
Go Artemis! You too? Yeah.
There you go. I like your dabbing astronaut back there. It's just so fun to see the enthusiasm, the energy, and a little bit of chaos.
3, 2, 1.
Wasn't that so cute?
I love kids and their excitement and, even just being real. Like, I don't remember what I was
I know.
gonna
He
ask.
goes, but I'm glad you're here. Now, here we are, Space Center, Houston. The crowd has exponentially grown throughout the day. We started showing you live shots from in there probably an hour ago. And now take a look at all the people there getting ready to witness history together. It's something really special to be able to witness something like this together.
Yeah, we've heard from celebrities and officials and kids.
Where's
And,
Sweetie Pie?
it's amazing. People from
Come
all around
here.
the world came here
Who
today
wants
to
some?
Florida to watch.
Who
So
wants some?
it's something. It's hard to put into words just how
It's
much
okay. It's
support
just up
for
here. It's
this
not gonna do
mission we're
anything.
seeing today.
It's not going to do anything. And great news too. Remember, the team was
Yeah,
tracking.
there you are. You're up there.
With the launch
You're up there.
system battery. They
That's
appear,
you.
they appear to have cleared
you.
that issue. So we are go for launch.
Yeah, that's you up there. That's you.
U.S. Space and Rocket Center here, Huntsville, Alabama, waving. to the Artemis II crew sitting right there inside Orion, inside of 20 minutes from the opening of the launch window. And right now we are targeting the top of that launch window. So we could be launching here in about 19 minutes, Nicole.
Wow,
Yeah.
We go
I
19
don't know
minutes.
if I
Here we
expected
go.
this today. I'm excited, and
There we
you know, I'm
go.
glad they were able to clear the problem with the battery on the LAS, and everything has gone really smoothly today. It's been great. The weather cleared up. It's a beautiful day for a launch.
And so now, as we are so
Seven
close
Still, thank you so much,
to
man, for
passing
the
launch now,
Seven Still, thank you so much for the cash app, man. I really appreciate that, buddy. Guys, give it up for Seven Still. Salute to you, buddy. All right, here we go.
first time in more than 50 years.
Yeah, you know, just so proud of the crew and all of the teams here on the ground that made this happen. You know, they are carrying the torch from the Apollo era into the Artemis era. And, you know, it's the crew likes to say they want to be the shoulders that the next
Copy all.
generation.
And let's see, GLS, can you help us with that, please?
Yeah, she's right here.
They want to be the crew wants to be the shoulders that the next generation can climb on.
001.
You know, I think it's in their patch. We're going for all. It's in the name of their capsule, integrity, representing humility and the professionalism of everyone that got them there today. So proud of them. We love them. We're excited for them, and we cannot wait to see what they see.
Just leveraging everything we've learned so far as an agency, taking us from Apollo now to the launch pad here, 39B, with Orion and SLS poised to again fly us into the history books. And before we leave you now here at the host desk to get back into operations, we just wanted to answer one question for you guys. We asked you earlier on today, what are you most excited for? And we asked you to go vote on Instagram and Twitch. Instagram, you guys said launch. Twitch, you guys said lunar flyby. So I think you guys will all be very excited since we are now about 17 minutes from the opening of our launch window today. And so with that, as we approach terminal count, let's send it back to Daryl Nail in firing room 1. Daryl.
All right, thank you, Megan and Nicole. And just want to give you an update on the launch abort system that you just reported that they cleared. They believe, they're convinced this is an instrumentation failure. So there are 2 batteries on the LAS. The LAS, of course, and with the help of my 2-year-old son's model rocket, Daniel said I could use this, so it's okay. The LAS is right here. It's the tower above Orion. Orion capsule is inside of here. It's used to pull Orion off the rocket in case the rocket is something's going on with the rocket, either on the pad or in flight. 2 batteries are bad. Well, I'm sorry. One of the 2 batteries reported an out-of-family temperature, and it was very much out of family. And so they checked their data going back into the vehicle assembly building where they recharged the batteries and worked on them. And they have good, solid data, they reported, that tells them that this is an instrumentation failure. There's something wrong with the sensor. And so
It got a little stinky in here. Kind of smells like this launch, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, CT, I got to go do fatherly duties. Little diaper
All right, man, have a
change.
good one.
And they all
Enjoy the
Have a good one.
launch,
So now we
CT.
are clear.
Oh, yeah,
as far
definitely.
as that constraint is concerned.
Guys, go over to
One quick
Sports
thing as we
Gematria.
count
Here
down
we go.
now. We are getting into the final minutes before liftoff. There's a 2-hour window. We haven't quite set the T0 yet, but this is a list of the cutouts. There are 150 cutouts that are included for this 2-hour launch window. And that's important. They're in very small print. That's important because there's basically 16 minutes inside this window that they cannot launch. And these are because of small things flying in orbit. There's a lot more things in orbit than there were back in Artemis 1 when we had 35 to 40 cutouts. For that reason, because of these 156 cutouts, they're going to be managing the launch window as we go forward. So they may have to wait out one of these cutouts. They range in time between 2 seconds to 23 seconds, but you'll hear the NASA test director talk through that. We're getting ready to merge that loop from NASA test director Jeff Spaulding. So now I'm listening to the launch team get ready to merge their operational channel. We're now entering one of the most
Scott says,
consequential
salute,
phases of
CT.
launch
Hope
day,
all is
and
well.
that's
Thank you so
terminal
much, man. I
count,
really appreciate you,
final
buddy.
10 minutes.
And OTC, NTD, N212
Thank you so
for
much,
contact.
man.
Good. Come. Help me.
I hear the same. STC? GTC?
GTC is on 212.
All right, copy that.
NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding confirming communications with his team. There will be 2 polls that we'll hear. One from Spaulding, the NASA Test Director, confirming the ground systems and the launch team are ready to proceed. At this point, we have a clear board, no constraints, but we need confirmation from each individual on the NASA Test Director team. So we'll hear him poll his team. The other poll that we're waiting for is the poll from Launch Director Charlie Blackwell Thompson, who will take that final status from NASA management before giving the go to come out of a hold. And you're seeing the clock count down at L-12 minutes.
CCL, OTC, Orion, or S1.
CCL.
Yes, sir. Reconfigure ARS primary loop ISO valves.
Copy, that's in work.
And CDR, OTC, Orion, or S1.
Go.
ARS loop ISO valves are being closed at this time.
Integrity copies. NGDLP.
Go.
Yes, I had a discussion with CIS and with MER manager regarding the observation the CIS had a few minutes ago. They were able to confirm with BCI photos that the condition that they observed has been there since 2025. MER manager has had a chance to review the findings, and they do not have any constraints from either a CIS or MER manager perspective.
Okay, copy all. And Launch Director, NTD, you copy?
Yes, sir. I copy. That's good news.
OTC, CCL 212.
OTC.
ARS primary loop isolation valve configuration is complete.
Copy.
And CGLS, NTD, cancel pending, please.
GLS copies, and that's complete.
All right, and for all personnel, we got a little bit more work to do before we pick up the clock, and we're about a little over a minute from getting to T-minus 10 minutes, but we've canceled the resume time there, and then we'll pick it up after we get through all of our work and anything else that we need to do to get through the remainder of counts. So we'll continue working that to get to our T0 today. So when we get to about 50 seconds from now, we'll extend that hold.
CVSE, OTC. CVSE.
400, 290, looking to verify that we are configured for ascent.
Yep, give me about 2 more minutes. I'm going to start the CMA2 streaming.
Copy.
NTD, COSE, hold requested.
Copy that.
I have an LCC violation of O-CT-004, S-band transponder anomaly. This was a transient LCC violation, so transponder 1 had a demodulated SNR estimate that went down to 2 dBm when it should have been between 10 and 13. It is now back up to 12, but we did lose that for just a moment. It does not appear that we lost our bit sync or carrier lock, which would be indicative that we lost our lock with the vehicle. So at this point, recommendation would still be go. However, we do have a pre-planned contingency procedure if we want to look at that. But again, this was transient, so we're back in a nominal range.
All right, let's see, LPE, NTD.
Yeah, we're not seeing that hit. So I guess the question for COSE, was that less than 3 samples? Is that below our persistence?
Stand by, let me look. It did look like it did persist for several seconds on mine, but let me take a look at the number of samples. Could I get a repeat on the affected LCC, please? Yes, ma'am. That's going to be O-CT-004. Thank you.
Yeah, us taking a look at the data right here, looks like that was a single sample.
Yeah, copy that.
That leopard
RCS
beside
does report
says,
that they also lost
just want
lock
to say
for about
thanks
5
for
seconds.
to all for
So
not
I would
blocking
love
me.
to ask KUS and see if they also lost lock with the vehicle for any extended amount of period.
And COSE, while we're doing that, these are 1/10 hertz measurements, correct? So we would have had to lose it for over 10 seconds to get a second sample?
Yes, sir, that's correct. It is 1/10 hertz.
Yeah, so from our perspective, the allowance is effectively up to 30 seconds, up to 3 samples based on the 1/10 hertz. This is not an LCC violation, I believe.
Yes, sir, I would agree with that at this point. Copy that.
We're checking with KUS on 232. I don't think they have 212 access. We're trying to verify, but it sounds like they have a loss of lock as well. About 2 seconds.
Base 44 super agents. Careful, there's no going back. No setup. Just
Yeah, so from the integration console perspective, we did have
Got
a
10 more
temporary
minutes.
loss there within the allowable and per the requirement. Let's go.
And this is Houston Flight. We have lock and we have good telemetry here in GSC.
And KUS is reported to they have good lock now. So with all of that, OSC, then are we in a go configuration per your LCC?
Yes, sir, recommendation would be go.
Right. LP, you concur with that?
Yes, sir. LP concurs go.
And
No
launch
problems, no nothing.
Yes,
It's
sir.
good
Launch
for a go.
director concurs go.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just verify everybody has everything else complete, launch director, and if we do, we'll be ready to pick up the poll at that time, unless there's something else that you're aware of.
No, sir. Let's verify all our work is complete, and I would like one last check of our constraints list.
All right, let's see. OTC, are you still waiting for com config, or are you?
That is
completed
affirmed, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
is that your only open item?
Yeah, OTC, this is CVSC. That 400 step 290 is complete.
Copy.
Okay, so OTC, you're complete with all of your work?
That's affirmed.
All right, copy that. STC
STC is complete.
and GTC?
GTC is complete.
Okay, excellent. All right, and LPE, just want to verify we have no open constraints at this time.
No open constraints. We have a clear board, sir.
Okay, tracking the same here. And launch director, with that, we are clear and ready to pick up the launch readiness poll with your go.
All right, sir. I am go for the poll.
All right. And for all personnel, this is the NTD conducting the Artemis II launch readiness check. Verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC.
GC is go.
STC.
STC is go.
Here we go.
GTC.
C's go.
MTO.
CO's go.
Safety console.
Safety consoles go.
LPE.
Let's do it.
LPEs go.
RTD.
RTD's go.
Houston Flight.
Houston Flight is go.
ROC.
Rock is go.
And CDR.
Cruise go.
Copy that. Thank you, Reed. And launch director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
All right, NTD, I copy all. At this time, I'll perform my poll. Attention on the net. This is the launch director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch. EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
Artemis Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The Artemis CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range Weather.
Launch weather is go.
Thank you, LWO. And Artemis MMT Chair.
MMTs go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity Launch Director.